All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to unpack something that happens literally every single second your eyes are open. It's this mind-bending truth that's just hidden in plain sight, and it completely changes what the word now even means.
So, let me just ask you this, and really think about it for a second. Everything you're looking at, right this very moment, is any of it actually happening right now?
The short and kind of shocking answer is no. Nope, not a single bit of it. What you're seeing is more like a ghost, a collage of things that have already happened. And today, we're going to figure out exactly why.
So it all boils down to one simple fact. There's a universal speed limit, the speed of light. And nothing, I mean nothing, can break it, not even the image of the world around you. So that means everything you see is delayed. Everything is from the past.
Okay, to really get our heads around this, we need a little thought experiment. I want you to imagine that you're not a person looking out at the world. Instead, you're a camera eye. You're just a single point in space, and your only job is to receive information, light, that's coming from the universe. Because really, that's the only way any of us experience reality.
Right, so if everything we see is the past, you might be thinking, okay, but at least it's the same past, right? Well, no. And this is where it gets really weird. Your view of any single thing out there is actually a jumbled up collection of different moments in time, all hitting your camera eye at the exact same instant.
Let's make this super concrete. Picture a really simple clock, basically just a tube with a floor and a ceiling. Now, imagine you, the camera eye, are watching this clock as it's moving pretty fast from a distance.
Okay, check this out. The light from the clock's floor, which is a bit closer to you, takes, let's say, 10 seconds to get to your eye. But the ceiling is a little farther away, right? So the light from it takes a little longer, maybe 14.1 seconds. So at the exact same moment, your eye gets two different pieces of news. You see the floor as it was 10 seconds ago, and the ceiling as it was 14.1 seconds ago. And since the clock is moving, that older image of the ceiling is from a spot further back in its path. Your brain, trying to make sense of it all, just smushes these two images together, and suddenly the clock looks tilted. It's not actually tilted, you're just seeing two different moments of its past at once.
And this is it. This is the absolute core idea. Looking out into the distance, into spatial depth, is the very same thing as looking back in time. The further away something is, the older the image you're seeing. Spatial depth is time depth, period.
So, if our normal view of the world is this messy, distorted collage of different pasts, is there any way to see a true snapshot of the universe? You know, a single, clean moment in time? Well, believe it or not, there is. We just have to change our setup a little bit. So now, imagine our camera eye isn't just looking out into space, but it's sitting at the exact center of a giant imaginary sphere. This sphere is the secret sauce. See, with a flat plane, different points are at different distances, and that's what gives us that jumbled up, distorted collage. But on a sphere, well, when you're at the center, every single point on the inside surface is the exact same distance away from you. This means all the light from the sphere hits your eye at the exact same time. You're no longer seeing a mix of pasts. You're seeing a single, unified past, a perfect, true snapshot. And think about what that means. It's incredible. If you're at the center of a sphere that has a radius of, say, 100 light seconds, every single photon hitting your eye has traveled for exactly 100 seconds. What you are seeing is a perfectly clear, totally undistorted picture of the entire universe as it was everywhere at precisely 100 seconds ago. Wow. Okay, that is a really cool thought experiment. But obviously, we can't actually go sit at the center of a giant cosmic sphere. But here's the good news. We don't have to. We can use this exact same idea to mathematically work backwards and rebuild a true moment in time from the messy view we actually get. So here's how we could do it. It's like a mental correction filter. First, you just pick any point you see out there. Then you figure out its exact distance from you. From that distance, you can calculate the time delay, how long its light took to reach you. And then you just subtract that time delay from whatever your clock says now. And boom, that tells you when the thing you're seeing actually happened. If you do this for every single point in view, you can piece together a complete, totally undistorted map of a single moment in the past. Now, this isn't just some neat party trick for physicists. This is a fundamental change in how we should even think about mapping the universe. We need to move from a map of static places to a map built on time and information. So, think of the old map as a God's view. It's this simple grid that pretends you can see everything instantly at the same now. On this map, the weird effects of special relativity just look like strange, unexplainable paradoxes.
But the new map, the observer's view, is based on reality. It defines locations by how many light seconds away they are. And suddenly, on this new map, all those strange effects stop being paradoxes. They become the logical, predictable outcome of the rules of the map.
So what this really all means is that phenomena like objects appearing to shrink or get distorted at high speeds, that isn't reality itself getting weird. That is just the logical, natural consequence of seeing a universe that's mapped out by the travel time of light. It's not a distortion of reality, it's a perfect reflection of how we receive information about it.
Which of course leaves us with one final, deeply unsettling question. If everything we can possibly see, everything we know as reality, is just a bunch of old information arriving late, then what in the world is actually happening right now?